Hey there, YouTubers. Luis from On-Site Towing and Recovery in Middletown, New York. So somebody left a comment the other day on my wrecker versus flatbed video, and they asked me to do a video on salvage hauling, IAA, Coparts, just salvage hauling. So I said, you know what, that's a good video to do, considering I've had several of these companies reach out to me over the last few years to sign up and become a sub-hauler for them. So I said, you know what, let me do a video on what I know and how I interpret this side of the business. So these companies are, I feel, no different than motor clubs. Little background history: IAA Coparts years ago used to own their own tow trucks. I think some branches do in certain regions, but for the most part, they used to do all the towing themselves. And like anyone else, you know, big corporate company, they wised up and they said, man, it's a lot of upkeep and a lot of money to run our own equipment. Let's hire sub-haulers, pay them peanuts, and let them deal with the headaches of maintenance and insurance costs and all that. And that's what ended up happening. So now they primarily rely on sub-haulers. So salvage work is pretty much, salvage haulers pick up the vehicles at residence houses or body shops, auto repair shops, after they've been totaled by the insurance company. Then they go to these facilities and they get put up for auctions. And that's pretty much how that industry works. You were dealing with stolen cars, cars that have caught fire, collisions, flood cars, everything. It's a very busy industry, especially when bad weather comes into play, winter months where we're getting snow, hurricane, tornadoes. That tends to be an upkick in those services being needed. So it can be a busy, how can I say it? It can keep you busy during those times, but is it worth the pay that they're giving you, the aggravations and everything that comes with it? And from my personal experience, when they have approached me with rates, it's not something that I ever consider myself to be doing. If anything, something that I changed here this year is anything that has to go to these salvage yards, we are towing them in. We're not allowing any salvage haulers to come to our facility to pick them up anymore. But anyways, so I'm here looking at a rate sheet that they gave me last year, and this was out of the IAA out of Rock Tavern, New York, not too far away from my facility. And I noticed that they pay by different zones. You know, they have, like a zone 1 is 0 to 10 miles away from the facility. Zone 2 is 11 to 20. And the increments do go up. But for instance, zone 1, which is 0 to 10 miles away from their facility, they're paying $46 a car. And quite frankly, on a light duty flatbed, even a medium duty, something's just a hair under 26,000 pounds, $46 for a vehicle, it's really, really low. And quite frankly, I feel that any flatbed, light duty, a Dodge 5500, a Hino, up to 26,000, needs to be making about $125 an hour to be profitable. And at those rates, you're not going to make that. And this is what I see. You're dealing with cars that are not exactly the easiest cars to load up on a bed. Don't get me wrong. Yanking them up with a winch is easy. Getting them off can be a different story. You're dealing with vehicles that don't have keys. They're missing suspension parts. Some of them burnt to the ground. And it just doesn't make loading any easier. And then you're also at the mercy of the repair facilities, body shops that you're picking it up at. You can show up there, you can call ahead and say, I'm coming. You might show up there and the vehicle's not ready for pickup, or it's blocked in. Guess what? Now you got to come back. This kind of work, I think it can be doable if you've got a multi-car carrier. If you've got a regular flatbed with just a wheel lift and you could only take 2 cars at once, I don't think it's going to be worth it. You know, I think four-car carrier, 5-car carrier is where it's at. And I don't mean a trailer with a winch. I mean an actual tow truck. And, you know, so, I mean, unless there's somebody that, you know, I'm sure there's people out there that make it work. And I'm curious to see how they make it work. And if it works for you, I'd actually like to, you know, leave something in the comments, you know, because this is you know, part of the industry that I've always wondered. And, you know, it's funny because I live down the road from Copart, and every morning, you know, I see the same trucks coming through. And it's funny because you'll see some older internationals running all day, running the balls off the truck. And I go, oh man, good for him, you know, good to see the truck moving. And then a few weeks later, the truck's nowhere to be found. And what I think happens is, you know, these guys get into this industry relatively cheap. You know, they buy an $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 truck. The insurance is actually cheaper for transport, salvage hauling than it is for emergency towing. So I can see that being appealing to them. But I think what happens is they don't realize their cost to operate. So they're running it for these rates, and then something catastrophic happens to the truck, and they're out of business. And I've noticed that a lot. You know, you'll see some old truck pop up, you know, some guy would pick up a dually and a trailer, and you'll see him running for weeks, maybe a few months, and then all of a sudden he disappears. And I think that's what happens. So, you know, FYI, anytime a company, whether it's a motor club or a salvage company, hands you these sheets, it's the bottom of the barrel pricing, hoping that you will sign up for it. And just so you know, these rates are negotiable. It doesn't matter what they say. I actually am going through this with Swoop, and I've got a video coming for you guys on Swoop, and some of the little deceptive practices that I've kind of noticed. I haven't done anything for them yet. We're still in the negotiation phase, but I can tell you this, these rates are negotiable. You know, they'll give you a song and a dance and say, oh, you know, your rates that you're asking for are too high for the area. This is the medium rates for the area. That's all baloney. It's just a song and dance. It's a sales pitch. Don't fall for it. You know, there's always room for negotiations. So, anyways, that's my take on the salvage hauling side of the industry. I don't see myself in the future doing it. You know, just something that just doesn't appeal to me. You know, just many things about it. You know, the rates. You know, the trucks take a beating. You know, dragging stuff up on the bed, and it's just, you know, doesn't seem like it's for me. But if anybody does this kind of line of work and it works for them, you know, feel free to leave a comment. You know, just out of curiosity for the subscribers. You know, what are you doing to make this work for you? Is it worth your while? Do you see yourself continuing this line of work? You know, so. All right, YouTubers, well, that's all I got for you, and I've got a few more videos coming that I'm just working on editing. You know, I'm sorry that I've slowed it down on these videos. I've been sick the last few months, and like I said, just be patient. Got a few more. If anybody's got any suggestions on videos I should do, by all means, you know, leave a comment, and do my best that I can to be able to make it happen. And once again, this is Luis from On-Site Towing and Recovery in Middletown, New York, and hit like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.